have one more week left of our NFL season that we currently find ourselves in. Week 18 starts off on a Saturday. It's a doubleheader, so we put you on notice to clear your Saturday plans. And then Sunday night, go all to the bottom right corner. It's Bills-Dolphins for the regular season finale. That game is Dolphins win, they clinch the AFC East, and they're the 2 seed. If the Bills win, they clinch the AFC East and 2 seed. They also have another way in. There's a smattering of options that we will cover for you on Good Morning Football.
We love a smatter.
Victorious.
All right, the Steelers have not won in Seattle in 40 years. 40 years. They just don't go there much, and they certainly haven't won. Seattle begins the day as the 7th seed in the playoffs, but down 10-7, 3rd and 11. Gino! JSN, the rookie. And there's some good rookies. Some really good rookies. JSN, Jackson Smith, and Jigba, another one, 12-yard touchdown. He's had a great year. Seattle just fighting and fighting. This was a really entertaining game to watch. 14-10. Najee, our guy, hand-planting a touchdown. I think it was the best game of his career. I really do. He was their best player yesterday, and they had a lot of good players. Najee was fantastic. 3rd quarter, 17-14 Pittsburgh. This game was great. Swing it out to Walker. He's going to try to make some people miss. He's down on a 1st and 13, but he gets banged up a little bit. He was also good yesterday. He would leave the game, head to the locker room, did not return. Ensuing Steelers drive, now 17-17. Look at Najee again with the scrum and the scrum and the 6. I mean, I'm telling you, this was a geyser of angry runs because Jalen Warren was dealing them too. It was unbelievable. We have a date with Destiny this show, and Najee Harris and angry runs. We'll get to it later in the week. 24-20. Again, great game. Look at Rudolph. Looking deep. Pickens! George Pickens! It's always something with him, Jay. Look at the catch.
Unbelievable. Look at their fingertips grab right there. George has been saying it all year long. Just throw me the ball.
And they do. And Mason Rudolph does that. And then he goes. Strip sack. Strip sack.
Nick
Herbig. Peter, say it again.
Nick Herbig.
Nick Herbig. H-E-R-B-I-G. And add a W at the end because the Steelers go to Seattle and win, and they are alive.
They are alive, and so many teams are still alive. Look at the AFC playoff picture. Shift your eyes to the 3rd and 4th columns. You have a 9-7 Colts team, a 9-7 Texans team, a 9-7 Steelers team, and then you've got scenarios where the Bills can be knocked out, the Dolphins can find a way to fall back. It's all sorts of wild, and we're going to get into it now on the show.
And all 3 of those teams play on Saturday this week in the NFL. Colts, Texans, and Steelers, they're all 9-7. They are on the edge. They're tipping in the AFC playoff picture. Guys, Peter, which of those 9-7s does your eye go to?
I love what the Steelers are doing since Mason Rudolph gets it. You don't get 9 lives in football, but it feels like this 2023 Steelers team has 9 lives. We called them for dead like 3 different times. They changed quarterbacks 3 different times. And now we've got Mason Rudolph, and they've now won 2 huge games. Bengals they blew out, and then to go into Seattle, like you said, first time in 40 years with Mason Rudolph and the boys, and to just beat up on a really proud Seahawks defense, essentially put the Seahawks up against the wall and maybe knock them out of the playoffs and then give them playoff life. So what do they need? Okay, Steelers need to beat the Ravens on Saturday. All right, have to beat the Ravens on Saturday. Then they need the Dolphins to beat the Bills or the Titans to beat the Jaguars. That would get the Steelers into the playoffs. They could also earn a playoff spot if they win, the Bills win, the Jaguars win, but the Texans and Colts game ends in a tie. I don't think that's happening. So if you're a Steelers fan this morning, you're rooting for your team to win on Saturday, take care of business, and then either or, the Dolphins beating the Bills or the Titans beating the Jaguars. Good luck, Steelers. That's an unbelievable story this season.
I'm sticking with Pittsburgh, too. Nobody likes a guy that says, I told you so, but I told you so, and I told you so. Don't give up on this team. I get it. It was scary. It was dark. It was ugly. They're losing to the Colts. They're losing to the Patriots. They're losing to the Cardinals. And they snapped their fingers. And here we are like we are every single year. Everyone thought they're just going to fade away. Mason Rudolph comes in. When can we start the Mason Rudolph Comeback Player of the Year campaign? I want
let's go.
At the buzzer, Mason.
Move over, Flacco.
They look like a different team. They looked like Franco Harris and Rocky Blyer were out there, and they have 2,000-yard rushers. They got playmakers coming out of their ears all of a sudden. I don't know where this team was for most of the month of December, but they're incredible to watch. We're not even seeing T.J. Watt in the highlight package. They didn't even need him. Don't ever give up on the Steelers. Don't do it. I'll say it again. Peter, you just went all the scenarios. I don't care. They're getting in.
They're getting in.
They're getting in. They're getting in. Don't give up on the Steelers. You look dumb when you do it. I told you. I told you. I told you. Jason.
All right, the 9-7 teams. I'll give you guys an easier scenario. I'm looking at the Houston Texans. C.J. Stroud, he made his return. It was that Jets game. He gets knocked out, and then Case Keenum comes in. He beats the Titans, keeps them afloat. Then they lose to the Browns. All right, Stroud comes back. The defense performed out of their mind against the Tennessee Titans. But for the Texans, right now, a date with destiny. They play the Indianapolis Colts. In that game, if Jacksonville loses to the Titans, the Texans have a chance to win the AFC South and host a playoff game. But if that doesn't happen, all they have to do is beat the Indianapolis Colts, and they are in
winning
the playoffs. They're wild card, and they control their own destiny. Same with the Colts. So this is a huge Week 18 matchup for these two teams.
I know the Bills-Dolphins things is quite sexy.
Yes.
I get it. They got the Sunday night treatment, but the Texans-Colts got the Saturday night treatment, people, and that's where your eyes need to go, because as Jason just said, it's winning in. I go with the Shane Steichen Coach of the Year campaign, because he's, you know, backup quarterback issues 2.0. We get the Aaron Rodgers experience is week 1. Bam, slapped us in the face. But the Anthony Richardson depression era that began when he first started to get hurt and the way he was playing, this sucks for the Colts. We didn't want this to happen. They had a fun young team. Jonathan Taylor figured out his stuff coming into October. All of a sudden, we're like, wait a second. Gardner Minshew is going to treat us to this kind of quarterback play again? And now we find the Colts playing this way again? Their defense, their run game, the Colts are so fun to watch, and it's the Saturday night treatment, people. That's what you want to play winning in on the NFL Week 18.
Winning in, baby.
All right, coming up. The Dolphins get trampled. For me and Chris Lewis and Amanda Renner. Great CBS broadcast. Will Silva out to you on the West Coast. Bears need several minutes in the offseason to unpack their season they just had. But for now, tell us what's going on elsewhere.
Hey, what's going on there, Jamie and guys? Happy New Year to you all. We start in Buffalo, where the Bills are riding a 4-game win streak after their victory over the Patriots on Sunday. That, coupled with the Fins' loss, now sets up a showdown for the AFC East title in Week 18 between Buffalo and Miami. Our very own Stacey Dales was at the Bills game and went one-on-one with cornerback Rasul Douglas after the win.
What are you thinking at the end of October when you get traded after such a successful time in Green Bay and you get traded to the Buffalo Bills? What's going through your head?
Just a new opportunity to showcase me.
Yeah. You got 4 picks now with these Bills. What is it about this defense? I know you said you fit right in, but what is it about this group that allows you and really the unit to have such success?
It just works for me. It's perfect for me. We got a great coach who made sure he keep getting me better. And then we got 2 vet safeties back there who just challenge us to be the best. And our cornerback group, man, it's just one of a kind.
So is our very own Omar Ruiz, who reported Eagles wide receiver Devontae Smith was seen leaving Lincoln Financial Field on crutches with a walking boot on his right leg following the loss to the Cardinals. Smith had just 3 catches for 30 yards in this game, his fewest receiving yards since week 5. Well, we are just 41 days away from Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas, and our guy Adam Lorenz is here with a Super Bowl prediction of his own as we head into the playoff push. Adam, take it away.
Thanks, Will. Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome to Monday on My Mind, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Hey, next month, we're going to crown a champion out in Las Vegas, and I've got my eyes on the Bills and Cowboys to meet out there. Let's start with the Bills, who are plus 380 to win the AFC. Now, they still need to secure their playoff spot, and their easiest path is to simply beat Miami on Sunday, where they'd also win the division and the 2 seed. But as it stands now, I got to ask Bills Mafia, who's scaring you? KC, you already beat. Miami, you already beat. Baltimore, Lamar's last playoff start was a 14-point loss to the Bills a few years ago. I feel pretty good about Buffalo right now. Now, let's move to the Cowboys. And if nobody else out there wants to say it, I will. I'm ready to invest in America's team to take the NFC at plus 370. The Cowboys are now the 2 seed and have 3 wins this season over teams currently in the NFC playoffs. The Lions, Eagles, and Rams. You know it's most likely going to come down to that Niner game. Call it blind faith on the Cowboys, but it's like my great-grandfather Papa Jackman used to tell me, son, sometimes you got to walk by faith and not by sight. So there you have it. I've got the Bills and the boys. Parlay their conference championships at nearly 22 to 1 and kick off your new year with some playoff futures in your back pocket. And don't forget, on Draft